Hey y'all, what's happening? We are live again this week after taking what we took a 2 week hiatus. We was like, probably not. But hey, we're back and we're live. I'm Kimberly, the Purpose Catalyst. And of course, I have my girls with me, Rev Rev Teray People. Boom. Keita, what she do? And Nikita Jervy, the Peace Princess.
Hey.
Oh God. So y'all listen, as you are coming in, make sure you let us know where you're coming in from. We can't wait to have a conversation about the topic tonight. So if you noticed in the actual description, it was hashtag authors, right? Yeah, it was hashtag authors, just in case y'all didn't know. And I put that we were talking about how to expand your readership, even, everything that's going on right now. Ain't a lot of pop up shops. You can't vend out here in these streets like this. And people might not be going to your site to pick up a book or download you on Kindle. So your royalties might be a little low, but we're hoping that they're still, regular, right? So, what we're talking about is building a micro course off of one of your books. So, from one of your books, let me share what the micro course is. So, a micro course is actually you skimming down your book to one main principle. So just think if you got like 13 chapters or you have a devotional, this is amazing for devotional writers. So if you're a devotional writer, just put devotional in the comments so we can shout you out. But it's amazing, especially for self-help, for empowerment writers, for a lot of people, really, because even if you're a fiction writer, you could kind of talk about how to write a fiction book, because that's not something that a lot of people do. I definitely am not a fiction writer. Boom. So with that being said, it is just an added income revenue. So it's about adding revenue. You may not be popping at all the major concerts, conferences. You may not be a vendor. You may not be able to do this, but what you can do is automate a micro course. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple of ways that you can get into building your first micro course. And so with that being said, what we're going to do is split this into two segments, because one of the things that I absolutely love, now y'all chime in if y'all here for it too, is that all three of us are authors, and we've kind of talked about that before.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, we write in here. We do things. Some have more published works than others, but
Did she come for us, Keita?
I
don't know who she talk about.
She's the one. A hit dog always hollers. Wait, shout out to all my Maryland people. Yo, my paternal family is from Maryland. And I was telling one of my good girlfriends, I was like, yo, my uncle be like, you want hot dog? So shout out to my Maryland family. Hit dogs always holler, okay? Things you'd find out on the live with us. Okay, so anyways, I was saying, we're going to talk about how they can turn their books into micro courses and still get money. Because, one of the things we believe in is profit is tied to your purpose. So this month, we're going to be talking about all the ways you can monetize your purpose. This month is all about profit and purpose. Purpose and profit. So who wants to go first? Doesn't matter. Do you want Keita and your 15 books? Would you like to talk? No? Okay. No? Teray? Let's talk, because Keita is trying to give me the side eye. And I don't need to smoke tonight.
I'm sending you a 4-page letter. I told you, Kim, leave her alone. You was going to get a letter. Didn't I say that?
If y'all remember, a few weeks back, it's been multiple weeks ago, Keita said she would get mad and write people letters and drop them off at their house. And so Ray kept saying that if I ain't leave Nikita alone, she was gonna write me a letter. The crazy part is Nikita does know where I live, so she absolutely could put a letter in my door and be like, read that, okay?
And when the envelope shows up, I want you to
I'm going to take a picture and put it all over all of my social media channels.
and I'm gonna be sitting there just like this.
Teray, you ain't gonna do that. You don't have to do that.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You don't have to do that. You should. It's not even biblical. You weep with them who weep. You cry with them who cry. You laugh when we laugh. Now I told you so. Who said that?
Nope. She'll be laughing. I would be laughing with her. Yeah.
Y'all keep me in prayer because if Nikita sent me a 4-page letter with a video attached, I'm gonna be hurt.
Listen, me and Keita good. See, I'm keeping the kids.
Oh. You like they do not like everybody. I just got a hug when they see me on site. They don't know
you. Children love TT. They love me.
They don't know you. Matter of fact, when we get off in the green room, wait, you know how they got the green room for you going to live? In the green room, we're gonna pull the kids in and be like, do you know this lady?
No. But I'm be like, TT give you candy.
Nope. Keita don't let her kids take candy because they might have.
That's why they gonna like me, because she don't let them have candy.
That's right. You better give them my apple.
That's true, right?
On my side. Right?
I digress. I'm gonna take control over the live because Teray is being foul and Nikita act like she won't fight. So with that being said, Teray, talk about your book. Show people your book cover. And give them a snippet of the book.
Journey, The Road to Empowerment. Journey, it's a 6-chapter book. It takes you through. You know what? You know what, Kim? That's okay. I'm gonna take a page out of the Peace Princess's book. Okay?
What you finna do?
And I'm about to pray for the bitterness not to set root in my heart. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna pray for that.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now, we're like real on camera. I didn't know what happened. Go ahead. Talk baby.
Back to the professionalism. Journey, The Road to Empowerment. It is a 6-chapter book. Now I can't talk. It's a 6-chapter book that takes you through 6 women of the Bible. We deal with different issues such as forgiveness being one of them. We talk about self-esteem. We talk about forgiveness, unforgiveness. We talk about the victim mentality. We talk about moving forward and letting go of your past. We talk about not rehearsing your past. And really moving forward. So that's the point of the book. And there are some major revelations that are revealed in each of the chapters. But the most important, I think the most impactful portion of the book is the fact that you go through questions and you answer these questions. It's not me asking or me answering them for you and leading you to the answer, but it's reminding you, like taking you back. When did you feel this way? When did you recognize that this was an issue for you? And really allowing you to filter through those feelings and emotions. And then towards the end, some chapters, most all of the chapters have some type, it's either a prayer or it has a meditation or Bible verse that at the end of each chapter for you to take and really recite and let that take root in your heart.
Okay. I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So tell me the part of the book and the topic. So authors, if you're paying attention, we're giving away some tips and tricks. All right. Tell me the part of the book where people have their biggest aha moment, where the deepest revelation sets in.
Okay. So the one chapter of the last two courses that I've done, the one chapter that has really jumped out is chapter 4, which is Gomer. And it talks about my past is not my future. And it really is allowing women to identify that, yes, this has happened in my past, but my future can be a lot greater than what my past has been. Now, if we look at Gomer, we see Gomer had the Lord told Hosea to go and get Gomer. Okay, he was very specific, and he called her out, and he took her out of this horrible, very unhealthy lifestyle. That's how we'll say it. It was an unhealthy lifestyle that she was living, and he brought her into a healthy situation. And it was so foreign to her. She lived in that, she lived in the new for a very, very long time, but it was still very foreign to her. And she went back because
Mhm.
she did not know how to handle the new, right?
Mhm.
And so that chapter really spoke volumes to a lot of women, because we deal with the negative self talk, we deal with the guilt, we deal with the shame, and we believe that we have to live with those umbrellas over our lives, when God is saying, come to me, there's so much more that I want to give to you. There's a new freedom, a new level of life that I want to give to you. So that chapter, Gomer, chapter 4, is one of the chapters that stands out the most.
You mentioned a few things that the women have to deal with. And Keita, you chime in if you've had to deal with any of this as well. So you mentioned a few things. You said the shame,
Hmm.
the hurt, and
Hmm.
there was a third one,
Guilt.
the guilt.
Hmm.
Out of those three, what do you think you deal with the most, or your readers, or those who participate in your mentorship program? What do they deal with the most out
Shame.
of those three? The shame?
It's shame. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
They deal with shame the most, because I always say this: we know our junk, right? We know our junk better than anybody else, right? And it's almost like, it feels as though when you're trying to get it together and you walk into this room, say like, okay, I haven't been to church in a long time, and now I'm trying to come back to church. I'm trying to come back to the activity of, building up that relationship with the Lord and all of that. And it looks like all of these people have it together, and
Mhm.
I could never be what they are, okay,
Mhm.
because of what I've done, and because of where I've been and where I come from, and all of these other things that the enemy tries to remind us of and make us feel bad for. So the shame is something that they assume we all can see on them,
Mhm.
Right.
right? So
Mhm.
people, we, because it's so heavy on us, we
Mhm.
assume that everybody
It's
else is
visible.
viewing us through those same eyes.
Right, right, right.
And so it's very hard for them to really break free and to move forward, um, and really letting go of the shame.
Okay. I love
Yeah.
that. All right. So Teray, before we even get into that, if that's you, and shame is one of the things that has been a struggle for you, shame over past instances, shame over putting yourself in certain situations, shame over poor decisions, shame in people maybe you have been connected to, if any of that, any level of shame resonates with you, put a one in the comments. Um, Okay, so as we're talking about it, that is one of the main points where you see
Mhm.
um, people kind of resonate and start to be freed from shame during the mentorship process, right?
Yes, yes.
So then that would be something you could build a micro course off. Now, here's the thing, the micro course is totally automated. Once you build it, it's pretty hands off.
Hmm.
So, what I love about it is you can actually give a level of revelation and deliverance at the same time through your micro course, because you're only talking about that one thing.
Yeah.
So then you talk about the pain points of that. So if you were to break shame down
Hmm.
into snackable points to walk someone from point A to point B. So, authors, I hope you're getting this. If you're
Hmm.
going to walk someone from point A to point B, A being they're full of shame, B being they're shame free,
Hmm.
what would be those steps in between? And could you number them? Are there three steps, four, five, seven?
Let me work through this.
Okay.
Um, so for me, first and foremost, letting them know that they're not alone. That
Mm-hmm.
it's not brand new for you. The Bible tells
Mm-hmm.
us that there's nothing new under the sun. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So recognizing that they are not alone. Um, Secondly, that they're not the originator of something horrible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the enemy wants you to believe that you're the only one who has ever done it, Nobody else has. What was told to me was that, Teray, you're not the first and you're not going to be the last, right? Okay. So number one, recognizing you're not alone. Number two, you're not the first and you're not going to be the last.
Mhm.
And if it would have to be one, two, and three, I guess the third would be you need to come through so you can bring somebody else through. Like
Boom.
your coming out of this is dependent on somebody else coming out of it. And I think we were connected. We are created for connection. Okay.
Absolutely.
We are created for connection. And it's important that we understand that, and I'll continue to say this, 90% of what we deal with in life has nothing to do with us. It has to do with somebody else. And so
Absolutely.
when we understand that we are connected to people and that it's important for me to identify my pain points, it's important for me to identify my identity, my purpose, all of those things so that someone else can do the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay. So if I did not do it, I was looking at the numbers today, yesterday and today at the office, and I realized that with my program, just since last month, we have taken in over 80 new registrations.
Wow.
We've taken in new 80 participants in the last 30 days. Okay.
Wow.
Now, had I not identified my pain point, my purpose, my call, I would not be sitting here saying this to you. I would not be able to say that I was able to impact the lives of 80 people. Okay. So it's important that you do so that you can be the person to help bring somebody else out, to encourage and strengthen and empower someone else. So, first, identifying that you're not alone, that you don't have to go through this by yourself. Number two, you're not the first and you're not going to be the last.
Right.
You have to get through it because somebody's life is depending on it. You have
Yeah.
to do it for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this, the best method of delivery, what would that look like for this type of content? Is it a matter of you creating these snackable videos? Is
Mhm.
it a matter of you doing an audio drip? So think about people who exercise, and that it depends on your demographic, right?
Mhm.
So if your people are, you know, I'm not going to say health junkies, but if they feel a way about their temples,
Mhm.
are they going on walks and can they listen to this? Is this something that they can process through writing? What would be your modality of delivery for this content?
I prefer, this just me, I prefer video.
Okay.
Okay. And what I've noticed that when I do like my motivational videos, I do get a good response. I get a good response and viewership off of that. Um, I don't think that it would hurt to have it in a podcast form as well, because sometimes they want to binge them, right? And I might not be able
Mhm.
to, if I'm working, I might not be able to sit and watch videos, but I can
Mhm.
listen back to back to back to back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Do you think that these three subjects can be discussed in 15 minutes or less?
Absolutely. Bite size, like, just
Real
like,
bite size, just
oh,
snack. Let me get a handful of chips type snack.
yes, yes,
Okay.
like really high level. Yes, they can be.
Okay.
Hmm.
Perfect. Perfect.
Hmm.
Perfect. You have literally just walked through creating like the first pieces of your micro course.
Did I?
You did, boo.
Look at you.
See, that's why you do what you do.
That's why I do what I do.
That's
Because
why
I do
you
what I
do
do.
what you do.
So it's just a matter of paring it down. But here's the thing, everybody that bought a book from you,
Hmm.
everybody that's in mentorship, everybody that knows Teray Peoples and loves this book,
Hmm.
all your Amazon readers, excuse me, allergies suck. You now have the ability to go and tell them all about your course.
Awesome.
So now it's just a matter of putting it all together. It's a matter of making it happen. It's a matter of it being available to people in at their availability, but
Okay.
also at a deeper way. So when they read the book, now they read it in your voice.
Hmm.
That's
You know
good.
what I'm saying? And they're like,
Yeah.
ooh, what Teray probably said it like this. Now they see your mannerisms. You're bringing your content to life.
Okay.
And
So,
that's what it's an accompaniment. So I love that people write books, but I knew that when I wrote mine, my actual prayer was, God, listen, I really do not want this book just sitting on people's shelves, collecting dust, them swatting flies with it, you know,
mm-hmm.
writing in it for like 15 days and then dropping it off. Oh, I forgot about that. uh, yeah, I'll be on it. I'll be on it and I don't know I'll be on it. Um, I was like, that's not what I want. I want this to be something that resonates for years to come in different ways and in different forms. So, wrote the book and then created a course, like a full course. It was a 6-week course and it was group coaching. Now, the book is the foundation of my membership. So, in the membership, they get access to the PDF version of my book because it's now a resource, right? So now, especially for devotional writers, shout out to you. Calling you out again. You can take every day of your devotional and
Mm-hmm.
make it a micro course. So for me and upcoming, I have 40 micro courses to create because it's the content is there. It's a matter of putting my voice and my tone and my inflections and my personality behind the words. Because when you read it, you're probably like, oh, wow, she's crazy. But now you get full fledged, right? Like, hey, from everything in the micro courses. So it's not a matter, I feel like sometimes we let our books die in shelf, like a shelf death.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They sit on our laptop, they sit on our shelves. So they die a slow shelf death. But when they get picked up again, that content starts to resonate. It starts to change. It starts to add more spiciness to their life. It starts to move them from the things that they probably shouldn't be involved in, and starts to push them through the things that they should be. Does that make sense? If y'all with me, hit me with a 2 in the comments. All right, so Teray has the beginnings of her good homework so that she can start developing
Homework.
a course. Yeah, homework. I mean, you gotta come up with a title.
Got you. I got it.
Oh, she got a title. What's the title going to be to her?
I was thinking about making each micro course titled off of my chapters, which are essentially the women's names in the Bible. So this micro course is Gomer.
Think about your subtitle. Make it catchy. Make it be like, because they might not know Gomer. They might not be like, that was the chick Jose was talking. Ooh.
Okay.
It's interesting. That's a
Gomer.
very interesting name. Every time I read it, I always thought Gomer Pyle. And I was like, I wonder if this is where this came from.
Mm-hmm.
I digress. Okay, Nikita. Which
Ma'am.
one of your 76 books are we talking about tonight?
We're going to talk about the parts of peace.
The who?
The parts of peace.
See what I'm saying?
The parts of peace.
Book number 4. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I'm proud. I'm not hating. I'm not hating at all. I am super proud. Parts of peace it is. So, Keita, talk about the parts of peace. Tell the people about the parts of peace and what they do and what it means, and start us off there. Give us a good snippet, an Amazon snippet.
Amazon snippet. So when people consider peace, they think that it means that a world, a life without chaos, without noise, without drama, and that is a lie. Peace is about being in the midst of all of that and still sane, still centered, still connected with yourself and with God. And so the parts of peace talks about, number one, it gives a verses of world's peace versus God's peace and the difference between the two. And then also the parts of peace, like what parts of us do we need to activate in order to act in order to have God's type of peace in our lives on a daily basis.
Oh, I like that. Okay. So as you were writing this, you wrote this because what seemed to be the pain points that you felt like you could solve?
That so okay. And I use peace, Peace, and Pice interchangeably because to me they're like the same word but different. So when as women we go through life and we innately give pieces of ourselves all of the time, and or they're taken from us. And usually we feel like if a piece of us has been taken or has been stolen or has been lost along the way, that we don't have the right to get it back, that we don't have the power to get it back. And we have a biblical right to get our peace back. And that's ultimately, my thought process behind it.
Okay. So in talking with all the individuals that call you and say, girl, let me tell you what has happened. And you already know that there's a peace issue because they get inflamed the minute they start talking, right? So they start off with, hey, girl, how you doing? How's the kids? Blah, blah, blah. But girl, let me tell you what happened. Right? Am I shooting up right? Am I doing it right? Okay. So out of all the people that have called that really prompted you to write this ebook, what has been the major aha moment that you've had to walk people through? Just the one.
That the person that stole a piece ain't about to give it back.
Boom. Forgiveness without the apology.
That's good.
That's dope. I mean, because usually thieves don't bring nothing back. Only in the Bible do they gotta repay, But out here in these streets, if the police recover it, sometimes it'd be damaged and stuff.
Right.
Get that back. Insurance gotta cover it. So the person who stole your piece ain't fitting to give it back. So that's the pain point. That's the realization of it all, right? So if that's the premise, how do you walk them through being okay with the fact that I understand what you're saying. I know you mad, but let me tell you how you can be okay anyway. How do you get them from being engulfed in rage to having peace?
Engulfed in rage to having peace.
Yeah.
Number one would be acceptance. You kind of have to accept where you are. You have to accept where they've left you in a sense, and where they are. You have to accept all parties in the situation, for who and where and what and all of that. Accept it. Number two, understand, again, that they're not going to come back and give you your peace, but that your peace is your power. Therefore, you have to pursue it. The word says to pursue peace. And so you can't stay still thinking about what they did or what could have, should have, would have happened. You can't stay still and expect it to come back. So to understand that you have to do something in order to reclaim your peace. And then 3, go do it.
The execution of it all.
Go do it. Like, I honestly, I feel like I feel like it's almost an oxymoron at times, because when I think about reclaiming something that was stolen from me, or I feel like it's a snatch. It's a, I'm about to jack you up or whatever. And that's like, almost, when you think about peace, that's not what you think about. You don't think about having to beat somebody up to get something that they stole from you back. But that's exactly how I think about it, because it's
Right.
like they're not giving it back to you. So you have to have some type of force, some type of power behind your pursuit of your peace, where, cause you can't go in there, please, sir, may I have some more peace, please? That's not going to work. So,
That's not gonna work.
understanding that in the number 3 part, where you are actually pursuing that takes some gangster, like you
Ooh,
gotta go get it.
I feel like you put the swing on somebody. Yes, give it to them. So, tell me this. How would you best deliver this message? It's accompanying an ebook as it is. So
Mhm.
what would be the best mode of delivery for people who need to forgive without the apology?
What are the options?
Okay, so there are multiple options, honey. There's audio, there's video, there is blended, where you are doing both audio, I mean, not audio, but video and written. There are, especially when it comes to steps, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so much that you can do from that format. You could just do audio. You can strip the audio from your video and have 2 options. You can watch me, you can hear me.
So I probably pray for them. So that's audio.
Yeah.
And then so I'll say maybe a combination type of situation happening. Audio and maybe a couple videos, so you can see, like, the fighting part. I'd need to probably put that on video so you can see what I'm saying.
What I tell you.
Like that number 3, you need to see my face.
You
Understand? I'm not talking
see
about,
in my eye when I'm talking.
see what I'm talking about.
Look in my little eye. You see me?
Written steps, so that you can write it out, because there's power in seeing your thoughts on paper, so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the way you take even an ebook. So for these amazing people who pump out ebooks like week after week, month after month, number one, I admire you. I would love um, to be able to do something like that. Just ain't got it yet, but I'm fitting to get there. Uh, so even for an ebook, and that's one of the things that I wanted to share, is that Teray has a full paperback.
Mhm.
Nikita decided to do a micro course from an ebook. And you think an ebook is already limited. It's what? 10. An ebook can actually be 2 pages. So it's 10, 15, maybe 30 pages on average, right? Can you really do a course in that? You absolutely can. So, with that being said, we've talked about 2 different forms of books that you can still create a micro course from. So now, Kita, you have an accompaniment to this ebook that you can sell individually, like outside of. So it's either a cross sell, it's an upsell, it's something that allows your readers to take this deeper. So you've already said there's peace, what is it, the parts of peace?
Mhm.
So now you have a whole course that outlines forgiveness without the apology. And listen, how many times have you seen that online? You gotta learn. I don't know who this is for, but you gotta forgive them whether they apologize or not. And if you've ever seen it, just put a 4 in the comments, because y'all know y'all have seen it. Y'all, it's everywhere, right? But nobody says how.
Yeah.
How, Sway? So now Nikita, the Peace Princess, says this is how, right? So, in essence, you're giving them a way to free themselves from the bondage. You took a meme and created a whole micro course from it because that's who you are, the Peace Princess. So, even an ebook, how many pages is the ebook?
I think it's about 15.
So, even an ebook at 15 pages can have a micro course. Why? Because you pare it down to its simplest form and then expand on that piece. And these videos, these audios, especially when you're doing audios 5 minutes or less. Video, 15 minutes or less. If you give them more than 15 minutes, PS, you're going to bore them to death and they'll never digest the content. You want snackable content. You want content that when you go, think about when you go to the kitchen and you like, I'm fitting to go get this snack. And you know how they sell snack bags? You know how you can get the little 25-cent bag of chips or Doritos?
Mhm.
That's what you're giving. The little 25-cent bag of Doritos or chips. Wrap snacks. 25-cent bag of wrap snacks. Not the big family size. This is not what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the quarter bags of chips. What can you pack in that can walk someone from step A to step B? Micro course it is. So y'all listen, if you have questions or if you're watching us on replay, hey, shout out to you. #replay. Ask your questions in the comments. I know this was probably a lot different than our normal stuff because our normal stuff is absolutely all self-help and empowerment and girl, come on, get your life, walk with us. And tonight was some of that too. But it's also because we're in the month of purpose and profit. It is also about learning how to monetize your wisdom. So listen, we're going to be back next week. Excited about that too. Because authors are not the only people who can create an amazing course. So y'all tell the people, shout out to them where they can find you. If they want a full mentorship experience, Teray, where are you?
You can find me on Facebook at Teray D. Peoples. Follow me there. Visit the Rose House, therosehouseinc.org, and click on the mentorship tab in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and get on that good wait list for our next mentorship event. Also, let's see, I'm on Instagram. All of this is going to be revamped here really, really soon. So you can follow me all there. And you can always purchase a book. Send me an inbox on Facebook and I will get you a book.
Boom. And then Nikita, you got something popping in how many weeks?
In a few weeks.
Okay, in a few weeks. Nikita, tell me what's popping with you in a few weeks.
So you can find
hold on, before you do that, Teray, put your link in the comments for the good people. And Nikita, I want you to do the same after you tell them what's popping. Hi, Faith. Go ahead, Nikita.
Yeah, so you can find me at Kita's Peace. Follow me at Kita's Peace. And upcoming is the delivery room, where I will walk you from deliver you from the bondage of unforgiveness into the freedom of peace. So get on the wait list. The class starts very soon. There's limited space, so get on the wait list today.
Very soon. Limited space. Kita, tell them how limited it is, because I want them to realize limited space is not 50 seats.
10. That's it.
It is a very intimate space. How many seats? Give it to them again. 10.
10.
Boom. Grab your seat. Kita put the link in there. Grab your seat. Jump up on this wait list because y'all gonna need one of these seats. Sweeties, I have seen the content and my God, the delivery room is where it's at. Okay. Girl, Teray, you gotta see the content.
I know, I'm excited about that. That sounds fun.
Okay. Sheesh. All right, boo. Y'all, we out. We appreciate y'all for hanging with us with our tad different conversation tonight. Get used to it because it's going to be like that next week too. Okay. All right. All right. We out. Bye, folks.